Okay, hello guys and welcome to another video. My voice probably sounds a bit down and weird because I'm pretty sick. So I apologize if the video sounds a bit dull, but hopefully it's not too bad, okay? So the thing is, recently I've seen, well, there's been a lot of new players coming into the game. And What I've noticed is that a lot of players seem to be quite of the firm belief that the world map is much better than any of the user created maps, like a community world, let's say a diverse world, an improved world, a rural world, an AI generated world. Like these are all great maps and all the pros love to play these maps. Um, but it seems that there is this sort of conception that some newer players have where they believe that the world map is much better than these, and you know, this is what I wanted to address in today's video. In my previous video, I also mentioned that the world map is not a good map if you want to improve with the game. I pointed out some reasons. I linked to Truly Buzzy's video as well. But seems like not everyone is convinced. So I thought what I'd do is I will talk about this today and try to clarify why exactly the pros dislike it and why it's not a good map to get better at the game. So before I do that, I want to also clarify that I'm recording this on the 30th of August. So as of today, the world map is still horrible. But I don't know when you will watch this video. Maybe in the future someday they'll improve the world map. Maybe they'll put some effort into it, and maybe our opinion will change. But until that day comes, at least most of us are in agreement that well, when I say us, I mean like a lot of the pros and experienced players in the community are of the opinion that the world map is not good. Second, second thing I also wanted to mention is that if you are one of the people who really enjoy the world map, then I don't mean to like take away your enjoyment from it. I don't want to make it sound like you shouldn't enjoy something. Like if you find enjoyment in something, then you should. There's no reason to stop doing that. So I'm not here to change your mind. I'm not here to tell you to not play it. I'm just here to point out why it is not a good map to play if you want to improve at the game, and why it is not a good map to play at higher levels of gameplay. And also in general, like some other flaws. So let's get into this step by step. First of all, what I want to talk about is going to be the number of locations in the map. Second, what I wanted to talk about is uh, the amount of coverage, so to say. Maybe I'm wording that a bit wrong, but something along those lines. Third is playability of the map, moving, no moving, and an NPC. So these are the three different formats that usually people play on any map. They play moving, no moving, or no moving, panning, zooming games. So I want to talk about that. The next thing I want to talk about is location distribution. Excuse me. And finally, what I want to talk about is the difficulty of the map. So these are the 5 points that I'm going to talk about. Let's get into this number of locations. So I see that a lot of people think that the default world map has over 1 million locations, and like a community world, for example, has 100K locations. So I see a lot of people argue that I think it's sort of like a misconception that you get just by seeing the numbers, right? Like this has over 10 times the amount of locations. So surely, like you'll think that, oh, it's you're just going to get repeats here after a point because there's only a limited number of locations. But the reality is that sure, this is limited, but like this is also limited. It's not like this is infinite locations. So the way this works, for example, is it's really, really easy to make a map with over 1 million locations. And I will make one right here in a few seconds. I'm not going to be super precise with my polygon because I just want to show you how exactly it works. And that's what you do. You go to GeoGuessr Map Maker, you click on Polygon on top, Polygonal Regions, and here you have a map already with 21 million locations. So let's call this map, let's call it Polygon, and create map. And there you go. It's done. Map is ready. Your map has 21 million locations. So if you go here, there's the polygon map. Here it says over a million locations, just like the world map. And I created it in a few seconds, right? So first thing is that the amount of locations is really, well, it does matter, but it doesn't matter beyond the point, 100,000 locations is a very, very high value. Like, I don't know why people act like this is equivalent to like 10 locations. If you play a map with 10 locations or 100 locations, then yeah, it's very easy to remember repeats. But if you're playing a map with 100,000 locations, I don't think most people who who are like new at the game have any idea how hard it is to remember repeats because you see so many different rounds when you're playing, and quite often what happens is that if you do get a repeat, you remember that you've seen that location before, but you don't remember the exact 5k on the map. So remembering the exact 5k of the location is very hard. And like if you remember over 100 repeats on a community world and you can actually 5k them when they show up, then that is very impressive. It's really not that easy. 100 repeats may sound like pretty easy to you, but the thing is, if you've seen that location once, then you won't really remember it. Like you need to keep seeing it over and over and over. Um, and then you'll remember the 5k eventually because remembering the 5k is not easy. Like let's say you are in, okay, why is my internet not loading? Hello? Okay. Let's say you are in modern Manitoba and you are on this intersection. So remembering this is not easy. Like it's not like all the locations are located at like some massive POI or something. It's really hard to remember repeats, and I feel like a lot of people just don't understand that. So if you've played enough, you know that remembering even 100 repeats on a map of this size is very hard. And even if you do remember 100 repeats, that is like 0.1% of the whole map. So I don't think a lot of people understand the scale of this. So 0.1% chance if you remember 100 repeats, which is already extremely hard. So that's one thing. Don't be fooled by the location count. 100k locations is already quite a lot, and creating a 1 million location map is not that hard. It's just making a polygon. Now, secondly, um, the amount of coverage. So people think that there's over a million locations, so there's going to be a lot of coverage. But that is the thing with the world map is that it's really weird, right? Like a few few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, I don't know. I remember a lot of people, like, you go to Reddit, you go to Discord, you go to Twitter or wherever, everywhere people were posting that, oh, I got a location in Pakistan in Battle Royale. I got a location in Pakistan in Duels. I got a location in PR Distance. And a lot of people thought that Pakistan got new coverage. But the reality is that Pakistan coverage has existed for nearly 10 years. And for so whatever reason, there we go. This is the Pakistan coverage, and it has existed here since December 2013. But for whatever reason, it was not included in the world map. So I don't know why, but the world map is devoid of locations in quite a few places, not just Pakistan. There's also other places. So in Community World, for example, we have locations in a lot of different places which you will never find in the world map. So even if you think that the world map has 1 million locations, so it has all the coverage, no, that is not true. If you go here, for example, Antarctica has coverage, which is in this map, um, but you will never see it in thingy. Christmas Island, Cocos Islands, I don't remember if I've ever seen them in the world map either. Those have coverage. Um, let's see what else. We have coverage in Lebanon. We have coverage in Mali, Martinique. These Nepal, like these just never show up in in the world map because they just, I don't, as far as I know, they just don't exist in the map. Um, and even more Pitcairn Islands, South Georgia and Sandwich Islands, Vanuatu, bunch of places that have coverage which just don't exist in the world map. So don't be deceived by that. And secondly, it's also like coverage within countries. So when we made a map, Community World, we put extra effort to find locations in places where you will never get a location in the world map. Well, like for example in Mongolia. Mongolia has a lot of coverage, right? You get Mongolia in the world map. But let's zoom in on this road, for example. This is just one example. There are plenty of roads like these. This road has coverage, but for whatever reason, due to some like Google like issue on Google's side, it is like you can't click on it. There's like only like 3 spots where you can click on this road and you can find coverage. So if you're playing the world map, you will almost like you pretty much will never get a location here. So this town here, Harkalt, you will never see a location here because you just can't click here. It's a Google error, you know. But for community world, we made use of some community made tools which allow you to access this coverage and save locations here, and they have been included in the map. So you'll get locations like these in the map, which you will never see in the world map. So that's another thing with the coverage. And then the third thing is also historical coverage, right? So let's say you are in Austria somewhere. Let's see what's a nice place. Let's go to this lake. So this is a very nice location, and you know, it looks very pretty, it's very beautiful. But the thing is, if you make the world map, then it'll always default to the latest coverage. But if you go back into the historical coverage, look at this. This looks so cool, doesn't it? Well, some of you will probably prefer this, like it looks maybe better to some of you like this, and maybe some of you like it this way better. But my point that I'm trying to make is that if you make a world map with a, like if you just play the normal world map, you're gonna have like the latest coverage or whatever, and you will miss out on the opportunity to see like these kind of like historical coverages, you know, where like something cool happened maybe last year, which was recorded by the Google car, which you won't see this year because it's new coverage. So maybe there was a forest fire, maybe there was like snow, or I don't know, just something cool which you may encounter. And when you make a hand-picked map like a community world, you can include those locations. So those are more interesting to see in game, sometimes. Not This is not really true for this location because this is also a very pretty location, but there are definitely some locations which look way more impressive or way more interesting um, on like historical coverage. But anyway, that's with the coverage. So the thing is, the amount of coverage, even though it seems like the world map has more locations, it surprisingly has lesser diversity in the coverage. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we go to the location distribution. Now the thing is, the playability of the map is also a big issue with the world map. The playability of the map means that basically you play the map either moving, no moving, or NMPZ usually, right? So when you're playing the map moving, the world map is a very horrible map for moving games because it is not pinpointable in nature usually. So this one isn't too bad, but usually what happens is that you'll spawn on like this. You'll spawn in the middle of, I guess you have an intersection here, but quite often you'll just spawn on the world map in the middle of a long road. So if you're trying to get the 25k, you figure out that we are somewhere north of that intersection, but then you don't exactly know where on that road you are, so you kind of just have to estimate, and then you end up getting 24,999. And if you've played, for example, Explorer Mode Botswana, and you've tried to get a 25k on it, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, then I'd recommend you to try it. Try to get a 25k on Explorer Mode Botswana, and you'll see exactly why I say that it is a horrible map for moving games. So that's one thing. So if you're playing moving games, the map should be pinpointable in nature, like a community world or a diverse world. Um, for NMPZ games, the problem with the world map is that it is not suited for NMPZ at all, because all locations are panned towards the north. So you see, whenever you load into a location, you will always be facing the north, which is quite annoying. Sometimes you'll just be facing, like, this is not too bad, but sometimes you'll just be facing like straight into a wall, you know? It's really annoying. So that makes the world map really unsuitable for NPC games. And thirdly, for no moving games, it is probably like if you want to play the world map, no moving is probably the best way to play it. But the problem with playing no moving games again is the other two issues, which are location distribution and difficulty of the map. So for newer players, I think this is fine. Um, I think the newer players will enjoy, um, like the map is very easy and location distribution is more suited for newer players. So it makes sense, especially because GeoGuessr wants new players to come into the game and they want to come back and keep playing the game. So if they don't have fun on their first go, then they won't want to come back, you know. So for new players, this is fine, but for experienced players and players who are trying to improve, these two are atrocious. So location distribution, there are two major issues. One is that the country-wise distribution is pretty weird. You'll you'll get a lot of US, you'll get a bunch of Singapore. Like it's kind of like you won't get a good balance, you know? Like you'll see US way more than you'll see Russia, for example, or Brazil. And I think that's more got to do with the density of the coverage. I think US is fairly densely covered, so I guess it makes it a bit more likely to be there, something like that. But I don't exactly know how their algorithm works. But regardless, country-wise distribution is pretty bad, and also the distribution within the country itself. So, for example, in Austria, quite often you'll just find a location in Vienna, and like it's very rare to find a location in these areas or like down here in the world map because for whatever reason always likes to pick Vienna. Um, and that brings me to another point, which is the urban and rural distribution of the map, because 90% of your rounds will be urban, and quite a few of them will probably just be in the capital city when you're playing the world map. And having those kind of rounds really discourages you from improving at the game, because usually you'll just have some sign, some domain, some flag, um, some phone code, number plate, something that tells you pretty much either which country you're in or which city you're in. And that kind of makes it like if you can like if you see the country name or the domain every time, then you're not going to learn the other clues which help you improve at the game, you know, especially in the rural rounds. You will struggle very much. So you do also get some rural rounds, but I would say that they aren't usually that hard on the world map because you know, usually you'll have like some Carmera, some Pole, some Bollard or something. So that's the other thing, is that the difficulty of the map is pretty easy, especially if you're an experienced player. So 90% of the time you'll just spawn into a big city, so it's really not that fun. It's not hard. And then the 10% of times that you do spawn in a rural location, it'll be not that not that hard either to guess the country at least. So all that being said, I think I've given a general idea of why we say that the world map isn't like why the pros don't like the world map, why it isn't used in like the Rainbow tournament or other tournaments, and why we say that it is really not a good map if you want to improve at the game. Now, I've been speaking a lot and I've been saying all this, but what I want to do is I want to actually demonstrate my point so that it's not like I'm just making things up. So we'll play the world map a little bit and we'll play no moving games on it, and let's do an analysis. Let's keep track of the rounds we get and see for ourselves what it looks like. Let's try and keep track of the rounds we get. And great, this is another reason that I forgot to mention, but this is another reason why the world map is so bad and so annoying, because you will get locations like these. Now, if you're playing for fun and you are interested in this, then maybe you like these indoors locations, but if you're playing this in a competitive environment, if you're trying to play country streaks or speed runs or whatever, this is an incredibly annoying location to get. And you often will get locations indoors, in museums, in stadiums, in amusement parks, a bunch of like different places in the world map, which you won't get in any of the other like, user-made maps, which all the pro players alike. Um, and this is one of the reasons which I forgot to mention. So I have no idea where this is. Let's click Berlin. We were in Vienna. Oh, surprise. Vienna, for some reason, shows up way too much on the world map. But you know what? It's fine. This time we're in the UK. Also an urban round. So let's see. Let's click close to London, maybe. Yeah, it's not too far from London. You know, clicking capital often works. This time we are in Japan. This is a cool building, though. That's a really cool building. No idea where in Japan. Oh, it says Nagoya here. So probably in Nagoya. Nice. This time we are in Florida, maybe? It could be a Florida plate, right? See, I wish I was better at the US, but I think it's Florida. Let's click like Miami or something. It is indeed near Miami. Okay, another urban round. I think we've had all urban rounds so far, so that's great. Um, let's see what else we have here. I think this is Russia. Um, or is it? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, it's definitely Russia. It's hard to region guess Russia if it's urban, but you know what? Maybe it's just going to be Moscow because it's the world map, you know? Let's see. Okay, it's not. It's Astrakhan. Okay, well, all urban locations, one of them was a museum, and all of them were in or close to big cities. So let's keep going. Next seed. What is this? We have um, we have a lot of hints here. So firstly, you have the domain, then you have language, then you have this guardrail, and you're in an urban location again. So surprise, surprise. It says, does it say the address? I don't know. It probably says it somewhere, but it doesn't really matter. I don't need to 5k this. Okay. I don't know if I saw that anywhere, but maybe. So this is the first rural location we've gotten so far, which is nice that we've finally gotten one. This looks a lot like UK to me, potentially Ireland, but I think I'm going to stick with the UK. Let's see. Yeah, it is indeed UK. Let's keep on going. We're back in Japan. I'm no good at Japan, but oh, is that Mount Fuji actually? Or is it a different mountain? I don't know. But it is an urban location again. Might be here if this is Mount Fuji. Yes, indeed, it is Mount Fuji. Nice, that was cool. But yeah, again, another urban location this time as well. Um, let's see where we are. Oh, there's a flag right there. Okay, it's Chile. There's also this Chilean pole here, which helps. This might just be Santiago, to be honest. Or maybe a bit north. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, never mind. It's all the way north in Iquique. But cool. This is going to be Finland, I think. Yeah, that's a Finnish pedestrian sign. Again, another urban round. Let's see where this is. Close to Kuopio. So, yeah, we had one rural UK and everything else was urban. So, let's keep on going. No hard rounds yet. The only one I got wrong was the one where we were inside a museum. Okay, this time we are in an alleyway, and I presume this is somewhere in the US, but I have no idea how to guess in the US if you're in an alleyway, especially. Maybe it's a California pole? Let's see. Let's go LA. No, it's not. It's Denver. Alright, fair enough. But yeah, another urban round. This one as well. Um, this looks like we're in France. We have French. Taxi Parisien. Wonder if that means we are in Paris. Oh wow, we were actually in the capital. No way. This time again we are. Well, this is a smaller town. I guess it's not a big city, but it's you know still still not like a super rural place. I'd say it's still got a bunch of civilization around it. So let's see where this is. Somewhere in Brazil. I'm not too sure. Maybe out here somewhere. Yeah, that's not a bad guess. Let's keep on going. Again, an urban location. Where are we this time? No front plates. I don't know that plate. Hmm. Um, Says stop right here. Yeah, I'm not fully sure where this is. Excuse me. With no front plates. I don't know those stickers. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll just go here. Indiana. Okay, well, that clearly shows why I am bad at the US. But, let's keep going. This time we have a fairly rural spawn, which is nice. But we have a car meta, so it's not a hard one. We're in Bangladesh somewhere, probably out here, maybe. I don't know. Yes, it was kind of hilly, so it made sense. So I lost a lot of points on the US rounds, but I don't know. Like we played what, like 15 rounds total so far, and I haven't missed a country yet. I missed it on the first round when we were literally inside a museum. So I think I think my point is becoming fairly clear here. So let's do something now. Let's imagine we are playing in the Rainbow tournament, and let's say we're playing 4v4 on the world map. So let's see what would happen. So round one is quite interesting, but I think it shouldn't be too bad for us because this should be either Azores or Madeira, which are the Portuguese islands. I'm not sure which one, either this or these. So if we're playing 4v4, we can just spread. And let's see, it is indeed Madeira, so not many points lost. Let's see what else we have. Black screen. Hello? Okay, I refreshed and it got fixed. Okay. Okay, this time we are in Czechia and we have these Czechian signs. So just spread your team across Czechia. It shouldn't be too bad. Someone will probably be close enough, so it shouldn't be too much damage. Third round, we are in the UK, I think. Excuse me, I'm I should stop this video. I'm pretty sick. Mm, Atwood. Yeah, I don't know. It probably says it somewhere, the place name, but if not, then we'll just go in different cities, right? So I'll go London, maybe. Someone is probably up here near Manchester or something, so I don't think too many points will be lost. Let's keep on going. This time we are in Japan, so you know, we just spread across Japan, and hopefully someone is close enough. So yeah, we'll probably just go north, south, and whatnot. So I think it wouldn't be anything too crazy, just a regular Japan round. Next round we are again in an urban scenario. So someone in my team would probably know the number plate. I am not too well versed with number plates. I do know that Connecticut has like a blue strip on top, but is this Connecticut? Oh, maybe. Let's try it. Illinois. Oh yeah, I think Illinois is the other one that has split like that. Anyway, someone would have probably gone Illinois then if we were playing like 4v4s or something because it has a similar plate. Now this is a nice round. This is a rural round. This is where some damage could be dealt, but we do have a yellow and black chevron, so we should be in Portugal. So I don't think it'll be too much damage. Should be northern Portugal. Okay, it's not northern, but regardless, I don't think it'll be too much damage on that round. This time we are in, I want to say just Paris, but I'm not too sure. But you know, if we are playing as a team, we'll spread. But it is just Paris world map moment. This time we are facing a US flag and also a state flag, so if someone from the team knows the state flag, then that could help. Again, this is just me and my one brain right now, but usually when we are playing, we have more than one brain to help us. So someone could probably know that on the team. So I'm not sure where this is. I'll just click like Washington or something, Washington DC. Okay, it's Dallas. Yeah, I'm really not good. This time it's Hokkaido. There's even a sign, so it's 5K bull. But I'm not gonna 5K this. In the tournament, it would have been 5K'd. So again, nothing like too crazy so far. Nothing that would deal big damage. This one maybe a bit. US. I think the hardest rounds we are getting are in the US. So also doesn't help that I'm not too good at the US, but you know, still pretty close. So honestly, outside of the US, this map is absolutely not challenging, and I can't say it is challenging every time in the US either. Quite often, it's fairly easy to get to the region, and especially if you have more than one person, then yeah, it'll be even better. This time, somewhere in Poland, I guess we'll just spread across Poland. This one wasn't too bad. We're in the US again. Wow, great. So this is what I was talking about with problem with the location distribution as well, country-wise. But, yeah. Anyway, I don't know, somewhere near Cali maybe. Yeah, it's just LA. So this is what happens, right? If you play this map in the tournament, every round people are going to be fairly close. And then it just keeps on building the multiplier because there's usually going to be some hint that tells you where you are. And, you know, over time, it is going to keep building the multiplier. No one's going to take any real damage. And then you'll have like a 13x multiplier, and then, you know, it's kind of just like random at that point. Like anyone can win just based on just based on like a random plonk. Like This one again, it says Belo Horizonte 3-1 as well as the code for this. So, you know, this is exactly what I was saying. And you get around like this maybe, and on a 13x multiplier, let's say I guess here, and so it's still pretty close, but let's say someone else guesses here from the other team. So on a 13x multiplier, that is an easy knockout, but that's sort of the problem of playing the world map in tournaments, pretty much. So yeah, the map is pretty much just too easy for the pro level. That's why it's not used in tournaments. It does not have as diverse coverage as people think. It is heavily urban, heavily like there's a lot of signs. The rural rounds are often not hard at all, and yeah, it's kind of hard to deal damage when you get these kind of rounds over and over, you know. So that's why it's not really suitable for tournaments. But anyway, that's about it for this. So hopefully you understand our perspective now. If you do enjoy playing the world map, then props to you. You can keep doing that. But as it stands today, there's a good reason why the experienced players dislike it, and there's a good reason why it will never be used in competitive play unless unless the devs put a lot of time into improving it. So yeah, that's it. Also, if you are trying to improve at the game, I think I've made it plenty clear why this map isn't the best. So yeah, that should be enough. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.